Well, there's strong consensus among members of the Coalition of the Willing to have their voices heard in the peace talks between Ukraine and Russia. A virtual meeting among the leaders of more than 30 countries was held earlier today. Estonia is one of those countries, with the Prime Minister saying it will do its share to ensure the safety of Ukraine. Well, joining us now is the Foreign Minister of Estonia, Margus Tsahkna. Good to have you with us, Foreign Minister. We appreciate your time.
Hello, thank you for having me.
So you've spoken before about the need for strategic clarity. Is the current peace process and the talks we're seeing providing that, or is it potentially providing more ambiguity with regards to Ukraine's position?
Let's be clear that Putin is not doing anything. Putin is asking more, but he's not putting anything on the table about this process, but just asking territories, asking the questions about European security architecture. Also, he's continuously talking about the root causes, elimination of the root causes. And for him, the root causes was collapse of the Soviet Union. So the last night as well, we saw more than 270 rockets and drones who just attacked the civilians in Ukraine. So the question is whether Putin wants to have any kind of peace or not. But what is good is that Europe is very much united and supporting Ukraine, and has been as well very clear to President Trump that without Ukraine, without Europe, there cannot be any kind of deals. And today as well, the European leaders, they gathered about this coalition of the willing, and the security guarantee is something we need to discuss. Of course, Estonia is very clear that the NATO full membership for Ukraine will be the best and most efficient security guarantee for Ukraine. But if it's not possible right now, we need to put together the same understanding and principle as NATO has about Article 5 security guarantees. And Estonia has decided already a couple of months ago that we will commit, we will participate with a pretty big scale military power as well in this coalition of the willing. And even we are the bordering state for Russia. And I think that everybody else must understand in Europe that Europe must put the skin in the game.
Yeah.
This is exactly what the security guarantees means.
I want to ask you more about the security guarantees, but first I just want to go back to the point you made about Russia launching the drone attack last night, hours after the peace talks ended between Trump, Zelenskyy, and the European leaders. What signal is Moscow sending here?
Moscow tries to convince President Trump that they are winning the war. So they're playing very like the hard and very strong game. But it's exactly how Putin is waging these kind of processes. So they would like to show that they're actually winning the war, but it's not the truth. I think that Putin was ready. Putin was ready to actually talk to President Trump, and maybe as well to meet with Zelenskyy to win the time. Actually, I think that he was very much concerned about European Union last sanction package about the oil price cap, and also that President Trump has said many times that he's ready pretty soon to hit Putin with the secondary sanctions and directly as well. So I think that Putin is just trying to play with President Trump, with Europe, with everybody else to win the time and push heavily on the battlefield.
Of course, your country, Estonia, shares a direct border with Russia. What concerns do you have that US-led peace talks and a US-brokered peace deal, if it favors Russia, if it leads to major concessions in terms of territory from Ukraine, could it actually embolden the Kremlin?
Yes, the main thing we are concerned is that there cannot be any kind of results that one country as Russia or whoever gains territories using military force in Europe, because it means, and we see it from the past as well, that Putin will continue. If Putin is successful, he has lost lots of people and he has killed lots of Ukrainians. But if he is successful to gain territories, the peace will be just like some kind of break before the next aggression. And the next aggression may also become again already against the NATO country. Maybe Estonia, maybe whoever, I don't know. But we are stronger, of course. There will be very high level, high price for Putin. But very important is this territorial integrity principle. We need to follow that. And Estonia will never recognize any kind of de facto or de jure occupation in Ukraine.
What can you tell us about the meeting that was held today between countries that are part of the coalition of the willing and the position of these Western-style security guarantees, what they could mean for Ukraine, given that Putin is suggesting that Ukraine should not become a member of NATO?
Most of European countries support, of course, the membership of NATO for Ukraine, but we are practical as well. And exactly, we were talking today about the security guarantees, which need to, based on the principle as in NATO about Article 5, one for all for one. The second thing is that there must be very clear understanding what US is taking as a part. So President Trump has said that they will be part of the security guarantees as a coordinators or they're going to support. But in real life, we need to agree finally exactly the conditions, what we do, what is the level of this Article 5 understanding, the military presence, who is taking what responsibilities, and the leaders, they agreed that now we are putting this concept together. The second thing was, of course, to increase the pressure to Putin with the sanctions and as well increase the military support to Ukraine using this NATO frame that European countries can buy heavy stuff from US and send to Ukraine. So there is no change of the understanding, but the good thing is that the US has said that they will be a part of this process of the security guarantees, and this is a good thing.
Margus Tsahkna, the Foreign Minister for Estonia, we appreciate your time. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Well,